All right, there we go. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow comic book collaborators. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. I got the books earlier than I expected. They didn't even knock on the door, just happened to look outside, and there is the box of my other 4 comics that I sent in. These are last month's that have arrived today. So they came back in exactly a month's time. Very happy about that. Looks like they're back on track. The ones that you saw on Monday were the ones from the previous month. So, like I always say to people, make sure if you're interested in using PGX, and of course, I don't get paid by them, so I use them because, and I'll say it every time, at one time I contacted CGC, CBCS, and PGX saying, if I did a little advertisement for your channel, well, for your company, can I get a couple of comics graded? And PGX was the only one that responded, and I've been working with them for over 2 years now, where I send in 4 books every month. But I made sure I got a deal for you guys. So if you're interested in using PGX, and like I say, you don't have to, but if you do, if you send 10 or more in and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of them pressed for free. And I also am the one that's responsible for PGX. If you're interested in getting your grader's notes put on the back of your slab, it's $5 each. You use the code We Love Comics Grader's Notes. That's in the description of this and every video, so check it out if you're interested. They are still in operation. I also want to remind people, especially if you're new here, look at the link that I have in the live chat. It's also going to be in the comments section when this video uploads, and it's in the description. It's a cashback program. Normally, if you sign up within 90 days, you get a $10 cashback bonus. If you spend $30 or more after, you have to click on the link that I provide. Sign up, it's free. If you spend $30 or more before May 1st, you get a $30 bonus on top of your additional cash back of whatever it is you're buying. So please check that out. And if you do pay for it and everything, I mean, like I said, you're not pay for it, but if you pay for your product that you buy and you get your $30 cash back, I get a one-time referral fee. So I don't get it if you just sign up. So get it before May 1st. And this is what I tell people. Get a comic that's worth $30, because then you'll get... some people have the eBay, it's 5% on eBay bucks right now for the next 2 days. It's invitation only, unfortunately, and that's eBay for you. But you can literally get, if you qualify for that, 5% eBay bucks. You'll get the 1% cash back with the program and $30 off. So you would literally be getting paid to get a comic. So get that now. And I'm about to show the books. I got 4 books. Again, it's beautifully packaged. I got my next 4 that I'm going to be sending out in the next couple of days. And one little conspiracy thing about something I've been talking about the situation that's going on right now. This is what I'm going to recommend to you guys, because if I say anything, my channel, the video will get deleted or demonetized or, you know, more silence. Here's what I want you to do if you have some free time today. On YouTube, type in your search bar, Hot Mic, H-O-T-M-I-C, presidential meeting, or John Roberts. So, Hot Mic, John Roberts, and then watch the videos that are out there. It's something that happened a day or 2 ago, and no mainstream media is going to talk about it. So if you're interested in that, it's Hot Mic, M-I-C. You can type in John Roberts or presidential meeting and watch the videos that come up. So let me put on the video camera. Let me say hello to a couple people that are here early. I always appreciate that, especially since I did not know what time this video was going to start. John, you are first today. Welcome. He says hello. Richard, Hydra, Collector, Steven, Andrew is here. Q-Ball, good to see you again. Nightwing, Crime Fighter, and many more. Welcome. Let me put on the video so we can get this going. I got 4 comics. I send them in each month. And where's the box? Oh, here's the box. And as you can see, there's only 4 comics in here, but look at the size of the box they put this in. Their protection is way beyond expectations. I mean, you could literally put 20 graded books in this box, but they securely protect your books. And that's why I do this live, so this way you can see it as it's happening. So there's no doctoring, there's no editing, there's no taking out something that maybe they didn't want you to see on other videos. I do this live so you can see. Now they swarm this with packing peanuts, so I'm going to try and get these out without it going all over the place. So it's filled to the brim with the packing peanuts. Yeah, this is going to cause a mess. But these are books. I always do a video where I predict what I think the grades will be. I tell you the price, and then I don't know what these grades are. I don't ask, so I find out when you guys find out. Makes it, to me, it makes it a little bit more fun that way. And I've actually been getting pretty good with grading because I'm usually within 0.5 of what I predicted. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. I'm trying to make sure this doesn't, because if you've ever unboxed something with tons of packing peanuts, you know that if they spill all over the floor, it's going to take you like an hour to clean it all up. So I'm trying to avoid that, but if anything, it puts a little drama. Alright, so it's like one of those magic tricks where you're pulling out the handkerchief and it just keeps going. Alright, so they got the paper in there, they got all the packing peanuts, then they wrap the comics in a blue cellophane, and then they wrap that in bubble wrap. So as you could see, this is all there was in that huge box. So amazing job as usual, making sure the comics are protected. So let me put this to the side, and there goes a couple of the packing peanuts. Alright, and also, don't forget to wait until the end, because I do a surprise subscriber shout out. Basically, if you are in the live chat, the more you communicate, and they put some cardboard in there too, and the more you speak, the more likely I will see your comment. And if you want the surprise subscriber shout out, you can even ask. I don't care. If it makes you happy, it makes me happy. Alright, so they put cardboard, they put several different pieces of bubble wrap. I mean, as far as packaging, this is top notch. So let me get this off, and then you could see they have blue cellophane wrapping it all together so they don't bounce around in shipment, because, you know, these companies don't exactly take care with the boxes the way they really should. Alright, so these are the 4 comics I sent in last month. That was on the 23rd of March I made that video. And here it is, a month later, they are back. Alright, so I don't know which is which, but here we go. And don't forget, guys, sign up for that program, $30 cashback bonus if you spend $30 or more after clicking on that link. It's before May 1st, so make sure you do that before that time. And you have to spend $30 or more. That does not include shipping and handling. So don't buy something for $25 and a $5 shipping and handling. It has to be $30 to get that qualification. Alright, so the first book. This is, oh, Amazing Spider-Man 129. Which one is this? Oh, okay, it is. Okay, I forgot I put this one in there. Alright, so I have several copies of this book. This is obviously the first appearance of the Punisher and the Jackal. Now, I'll show you the back. I'm going to try and cover this because I definitely do not want to see the grade. It does have some tape on the back and things like that, but overall, condition-wise, you can see the book is in pretty decent condition. Now, I paid only $290 for this book. I said at the time, I predicted about a 3.0 to a 4.0, so things like the tape and everything will definitely fit under that grade level. We'll see what they give me. But I always tell people, if you're going to get your books graded, no matter what company you grade with, get your books pressed and dry cleaned, because it will dramatically improve the condition of the book. And I can see this, they did perfect with the pressing. So let's see if that bumped up the grade. So people were saying, one person said 6.5. Jacob, I wish you're right. I hope you're right, but I don't think so. But some people saying 4 or 5. Let's find out. I said between a 3 and a 4, off-white to white pages. Wow, we got a 7. That pressing, I totally underestimated this one. Because as you can see, this book, there are no... Actually, and that's the funny part, because the only major problem is those 2 pieces of tape, and there's no tears. So tape is allowed in higher grade books. So I totally underestimated what the tape would do. Oh, and you know what it is? there's actually not tape there anymore. It's tape removal. So there's actually, as you can see, they put the grader's notes, so it'll tell you what the grader's notes are. It said multiple stress lines along the spine, cover and edge wear, tape marks from tape removal on front and back cover. Okay, so these are actually not stains, and that's actually not tape. That's tape residue. So somebody at some point took them off. So that would be the edge wear because of that. The spine ticks are very, I mean, you're not even talking an eighth of an inch. It's like literally along the edge. But if you could see, especially with a yellow book, Alex K says CGC is a 4, PGX 7. Well, you can't say that because, Alex, I've seen many where CGC was wrong too, and it is subject to people's opinions. You are allowed to even have tape on a higher grade. So this is definitely, the book is completely flat. The only thing wrong is the tape residue on that spot. You can still have those grades. Everything else, there's no spine ticks. The corners are sharp, just to show you. The corners are sharp. You could see, especially the yellow book, there's usually a lot of white from being faded. So, hey, as many people say with their CGC books, I'll take it. But to say a 4 and a 7, Alex, that's not being fair. I've seen many videos where I've even seen them live, where one of my people that buys from me a bunch of times brought a CGC 9.8, and it had 2 major dings on the corners, and there's no way it was a 9.8. So it's based on people's opinion. It could be a little bit higher than I thought it was going to be, but again, you are allowed tape, and the pressing made it look beautiful. So I'll leave it up to you. But like I say, I'm not trying to mislead people. I show it live. You can make up your own decisions based on what you want. All right, so here we go. This is a higher grade book. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 46. First appearance of the Shocker. And Danny said you thought it would be a 3 or 4. Well, also keep in mind, I'm not a professional grader, you know, and like I said, this definitely, I mean, just look at the front cover. I was wrong grading this. Do you think this looks like a 3 or a 4? There's no wrinkles, there's no rips, there's no fading, the corners are tight, the edges are completely straight, and you can see no chipping along the edges. So I made a mistake with grading this one. That happens. But look at this. Look at the edges. Completely straight. The spine. There's no ticks along the spine other than the actual edge. The only problem is the tape residue. So they are a lot more lenient when it comes to older books. So, I mean, you guys can judge it any way you want. I am not a professional grader. I made a mistake on that one. I underestimated. And I always like to grade lower. If you think it's wrong, that's perfectly fine. Alright, so here we go. Amazing Spider-Man number 46. This is the first appearance of the Shocker. I paid $183.40. This one was a great book. I predicted between an 8.0 and a 9.0 with off-white pages. I'll show you the back. This book I knew was going to be a higher grade. As you can see, this book, and it absolutely benefited from a pressing. Here's the edge. You can see, might be hard to see, there is hardly anything as far as creases. Nothing major. So again, the pressing did an amazing job for this book. This book came out in, I think, 68. Let's see. Came out in, I'm trying to cover, 67. So I was off by 1 year. So I paid $183.40. I predicted 8.0 to a 9.0 off-white to white pages. And let's see what we got. And there we go, 9.0. So I'm not as good as normally grading the higher grades because I get so many lower grades. But that was pretty spot on with that one. I knew when I bought this book, I knew whoever was selling it did not know what they were selling. So I'm very happy with this, especially for a book that old. The pressing made this look beautiful. There's a little bit on the top, minor. I don't know if you can even see it. That's how minor it is on the top. But let's see the grading, the grader's notes. Very light 2-inch crease on back cover. Edge crease on front cover. That's the little bit I showed you. Minor edge wear. Multiple very minor stress lines along the spine. So again, let me show you the back. Again, the edges are sharp. And yes, back issue bin makes a very good point. Keep in mind, everyone, that it was cleaned and pressed before graded. The book definitely benefited from it. Big props. Thank you. And that's true. When I make my grades, I'm basing it before pressing and a dry cleaning. So that will dramatically increase it. I made a mistake on that one because I assumed with the tape it would lower it a lot more. So I would rather be wrong in the lower end than say it's a 7.0 and it came back a 3. So this one, I said it was about an 8.0 to a 9.0, off-white to white pages, has white pages. Right, spot on. Toy Radiation says, how do you feel about Ultimate Fallout 4's second printing? Let's just say I own none of them, and I would rather have the first printing. But if you like it, you know, there's always deals. It always depends on the money you spend on it. So keep that in mind. All right, so the next one, we got Amazing Spider-Man number 20. Now, I have 2 of these books. One of them has like a big cross somebody drew in a pen. But this, of course, is the first full appearance of the Shocker. In 19, there's a little cameo of the person that is the Scorpion, but they don't show the Scorpion, just the character who will become the Scorpion in the next issue. I paid $114.85 for this book. I predicted about a 4.5 to a 5.5 off-white pages. So let me, again, show the back. They did an amazing job with the pressings on these books. So you can see no coupons missing, no tears. The only major problem is there's a tiny little piece, less than a half of a dime size, missing right. It's going to be hard to see, but there's a little piece missing on the cover that breaks color. Other than that, again, edges are straight, the corners are pointy. Looks pretty darn good. So their pressings do amazing work, I'll tell you. All right, so I predicted a 4.5 to a 5.5. We got 5.0, so right in the middle. Very happy with that. First appearance of the Scorpion, and this is something I missed. No, I got it straight on, so I'm very happy about that. 5.0. Oh, let me read the greatest notes. Multiple stress lines along the spine, cover and edge wear, small piece cut out front cover. Well, it's not really cut out. But like I said, right there, there's a little tear. I mean, a cutout would suggest somebody used the scissor. This just looks like a piece of tape got stuck to it and a part of it ripped. So 5.0, very happy with that one. All right, so that means last but not least, we saved the best for last. I have several copies of this book. I will get several more anytime I see them. This is one of those books I highly recommend getting because this is as close to guaranteed as becoming valuable as you can get these days with the acquisition of the Fox properties to Disney. This, of course, is Giant Size X-Men number 1. This is the first appearance of Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, second full appearance of Wolverine, the first new team. Very happy about this book. I paid $283.69 for this book. I predicted about a 1.8 to a 2.5 because this one does have some damage. There's a piece missing in the corner. It actually continues a little bit on the front. There's a lot of wrinkling that the pressings couldn't get out because this is a thicker book. There are some splits a little bit, not major ones. But this book has definitely seen better days. But again, the pressing made it look a heck of a lot nicer than when I sent it out. So it may be higher than what I predicted. Because like I said, I'd rather be wrong on the lower end. So this is a book I highly recommend. And you can see I have several copies. Because then you can get... you could trade or you can sell some of your books. Now remember, guys, I'm going to post the link one more time just for people that are coming in new. If you sign up for this cashback program by clicking on the link and you spend $30 or more on one of their qualified businesses that incorporate there, before May 1st, you get a $30 cashback bonus. So make sure you do that because that is absolutely going to be helpful in you buying a book. All right, so last but not least, a 1.8 to a 2.5 off-white pages survey says 2.0. So again, right in the middle. So 3 of the 4, I was right in the middle. The other one, I totally underestimated because, again, the pressing made that book look absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend getting your books pressed. I said off-white. It says off-white to white pages. The front cover is detached. That I knew. So it could not get higher than a 3.0. But for the price I paid and what the value of this book is going to be, I've said it so many times, low grade is better than no grade. It always depends on what you pay for something. So they say on the grader's notes, cover and edge wear, several edge tears. I talked about that, and a 1/4 inch corner chip on back cover. That's what I mentioned in the corner right here. And it didn't rip anything. It just kind of crushed this part of the corner. So I have no idea what happened to it. So, very happy with this book. This is another book I'm going to hold on to until the X-Men are actually mentioned in the MCU, because anybody that sells these books now is actually crazy, because you're going to lose out on so much profit. It's not even funny. So get these, hold on to them. Do not sell them unless, you know, of course, you can trade up for something else that you want to get. But those are some great books. So I was pretty much spot on all but this one. And again, I'll show you this book. How beautiful, because I have several copies of this book, and the yellow always gets faded, but if you look, these edges are perfect. Let me put it a little closer. All the way around, and a lot of times, especially on this book, the edge on the top, you'll always see scratched and faded and ripped, nothing. So the only major problem was residue of tape. So the tape is not even there anymore. Comic Book Flipping says, love the videos. Do you ever miss on a purchase? Absolutely. I miss a lot of times. But I don't worry about what I miss. I only worry about what I gain. So I paid for this book, for The Amazing Spider-Man 29. I spent $290 for this book. Yes, I underestimated the grading, but the pressing made this look beautiful. Because there was a whole kind of spine roll here and everything. It didn't break color. Because you could see, especially on a yellow background, it would be very easy. I'm trying to do it so you could see it better. It'd be very easy, but if you see, there are no color breaks, especially along the spine. There's minor stuff on the edge. But again, the only major problem, and I assume that was tape, so that's a bad thing on my behalf. But that's just tape residue. So I guess that is a difference. But, I mean, you can make your own judgments. Do you really think when I predicted this to be a 3.0 to a 4.0, does it really look like that, considering all the things it has? Again, this is why I do this live. I don't try and edit things out. I don't try and trick people. I don't try and put camera angles to make it look a specific way. I do this live so you can see and make your own honest opinion instead of basing it on some people that are just going to be what I call, you know, bias, very biased. So those are the 4 books. I have no more coming as of now because they're all back on track. So my next 4 books will be out in the next week or so. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Even if you disagreed with the grades, that's perfectly fine. The one person that said that CGC would have said this was a 4, you're allowed to have that opinion. I thoroughly disagree. I'm looking at this book, and it is definitely a heck of a lot better than I assumed it was, especially with the fact that it's got pointy corners and every edge is completely straight. So the tape residue is the only problem with that book. So, draw your own conclusions. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video tomorrow, but if I do, check around just to see. Hit the notification bell and let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out. If you are one of those people that likes to give thumbs up, it will help. So thank you so much. Rantor Tim Mungan, you are today's surprise subscriber shout out. So we're going to just say Rantor. Says, do you do this for raw books? I guess he's assuming pressings. I do that for every book. I highly recommend, especially with older books, when you send them into any grading company, get them pressed and dry cleaned, because this book absolutely looks beautiful, and I was completely wrong in my assumption of how low this grade was based on what I thought was tape when it's just tape residue. Pressings absolutely increase the value. I mean, there's some things like color break increases they cannot fix. but it can get rid of water stain, wrinkles, and ripples, bends, folds, even ones that have a color breaking crease. There could still be folds around it that could straighten it out. I've seen books that have gone up 2 grades because of a pressing. And the one thing I like about PGX is they have their pressing service in-house. So they don't have to send it to somewhere else to get it pressed. That could be another time where your books can get damaged. Because first it's got to be mailed to whatever company. Then they have to open it up and inspect the books. Then they find out you want them pressed, so they have to repackage them and send them to another place where the whole process gets done. Then they press them. Then they send them back. You know, all that time your books can get damaged. So I like the fact that everything they do is in-house. It makes it quicker, it makes it cheaper, and it makes it less likely to get damaged along the way. Now, of course, I say all the time, CGC is number 1, CBCS is number 2, PGX is number 3. I'm not going to sit here and say, just because I have this deal with them, that they're the best company. I prefer to be honest, and I allow people to make their own judgments. But if somebody is just going to base their judgments on what they hear from everybody else and do not do their own research or try things themselves, all you're doing is giving a company undeserved attention and undeserved praise, because every company makes mistakes. If you're afraid to call out one and just praise another, and you just demolish another company, it's not good for the people. I do this because I want people to have their own opinions that they can formulate based on live coverage, so there's nothing edited or nothing that suggests favoritism. So you draw your own conclusions. I definitely underestimated how amazing this book is. No pun intended. There are no rips, there are no tears, there's no pieces missing. The pages are white. The only problem is the residue of the tape, which I, on my bad part, assumed that was the tape. So somebody took it off, so I guess that lowers it. But again, that does not warrant a 3.0, so I made the mistake. Just because I make a grade doesn't mean I'm a professional. So I get it right most of the time, but hey, that's the beautiful thing about human error. People make mistakes. You decide on what it is. So that's my 4 books. I'll have my next 4 that I'm sending out in the next week or so. I'll be mailing those out. So if you're interested in using PGX, like I said, if you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, if you send 10 or more, you can get one of them pressed for free. If you want the Graders Notes, it's a $5 charge per book, which I think is awesome. You can get it free if you want they'll email it to you. So if you don't want it on the back, but you still want your Graders Notes, you can get that for free by asking them, by emailing them. But I like having them on the back. So you make up your own decisions. I'm not here to tell any loyalty. Anytime PGX is wrong, I will call them out. I've even said that to the owner, Daniel Patterson. He respects that, because I'm sure he would rather have honest information than misleading. That's never good for a business. PGX, Daniel Patterson, has been the most respectful, nicest business person I've ever worked with. He listens to my ideas. He has conversations with me. He did a deal that no one else would even respond to. To me, that's the kind of business I want. Does that make them perfect? No. Do I get paid to do this? No. I get a couple of free gradings and free pressings so I can help everybody see and make up their own minds. So I'm ranting at this point. Don't forget, there's a specific thing. If you get the chance, what you will not see in the news media, on YouTube, type in the following: Hot Mike, it's M-I-C, not M-I-K-E, but Hot Mike John Roberts. And you'll see something interesting that you will not see on mainstream media. And one thing I say to people is, you have to ask why you won't see this in mainstream media, because when you see what is being discussed on a hot mic, you'll wonder, and you might question. And that's what I want this whole world to be about, questioning things. Make up your own opinion. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Give the shout out to the shout out. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Check out my other videos by checking out my playlist. And do not forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics, especially when they're graded. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, and I will see you next video.